Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us in Enhancing EMI Excellence with AI, Mentorship and Teaching Practices. Research Center of EMI, the RC-EMI Professional Development Symposium. We are honored to gather here to witness and share your big step towards EMI teaching. This symposium is hosted by Resource Center for EMI, also known as RC-EMI of National Taiwan University. Through this event, we hope not only to showcase your outstanding performance in English medium instruction, EMI, but also to provide a platform for mutual exchange, learning and growth. This morning we have 5 participants presenting, and each given 15 minutes. 15 minutes slot. The presentation will include introducing your lesson plan, teaching demonstration, and a Q&A discussion session. We hope that through these segments, you will gain deeper insight into various teaching strategies and methods and inspire more innovative ideas. So everyone has prepared, I guess, a 10 minutes presentation. And I will, then later we open the floor for questions, 1 or 2 questions. And then I also ask or provide some suggestions for your teaching plan. By the way, I'm today's moderator, Zheng from the Design Department of National Taiwan Normal University. And as Japanese, I studied in Japan and the United States, and now in Taiwan for 11 years. So I do understand a little bit of Chinese, but very limited. So probably my question will be in English. But the question I heard is open to floor, you could ask me in Chinese. Therefore, if need a translation, maybe you don't need a translation, but I probably need a translation. So if you can simply translate a little bit what was the question that you asked, then maybe I don't repeat the similar contents. So please, the first presenter will be Xie Laoci, Foshan University,東吳大学的Zheng老师。
Morning, everyone. I'm Zheng. I'm a faculty and faculty member in Department of Chinese Literature at Suzhou University. It's my pleasure to be here, especially at alma mater, Taiwan University, to meet you, and I'm honored to present a brief demonstration of my pedagogy. Your feedback and guidance are greatly appreciated. It's the first one to present today, so I'm a little nervous. So please allow me to refer to my notes. Okay. Based on the EMI courses I have taught in the past, the proportion of international students to local students in the course has always been 73. Therefore, I place great emphasis on concentrate on every topics I designed for the courses, and I look forward to achieving the goals of cultural exchange and even cultural impact. I emphasize on the conversation, the open conversation, and deep I place many topics, and I use Bloom's taxonomy as the primary framework, as the for my teaching approach of architectural approach, incorporating videos and the images to provide additional evidence and explanations. I also include short Q&A sessions throughout the class to enhance depth and maintain an engaging and dynamic learning environment. The course I'm offering this semester is titled Focus on Taiwan in Glocalization Context. The course is organized with different topics and assigned readings every week. The students are required to deliver a 20-minute group presentation in class each week. For example, one of the topics is Taiwanese folk beliefs. Okay. We also have one field investigation during the semester, which this time is to several Hakka cultural parks in Taiwan. In Taiwan. Okay. At the end of the semester, we held a small final exhibition where students present the results of their field investigation, such as designing and creating cultural and creative products. I'm lucky and I successfully applied for funding to ensure that students can participate in these activities without incurring any personal expenses. The final assignment for the course is for each student to write a short essay related to the class, with a maximum length of 2,000 words. As for the grading criteria, it is divided into 4 components. The first is class participation and performance. The second is group oral presentations. And the third is field investigation and the final exhibition. And the last is the individual semester paper. Okay, and each accounts for 25% of the total grade. Here concludes my, now I would like to do the teaching for all of you. This is the course Focus on Taiwan in Glocalization Context, and the topic Chinese folk beliefs. As start, I would overview of Chinese folk religion. For example, Buddhism and Taoism, and some weird beliefs, some weird beliefs, and the weird beliefs will make me or make you feel parallel or discussing. Okay. And I will tell you Taiwanese temples and faith. I will use major belief systems. Example, for example, the fusion of Buddhism, Taoism, and indigenous beliefs. Deities and spirits, such as common deities and spiritual beings, to Dibong, Chen Huang, and other god or values. In addition, I will introduce the festivals and the celebrations, Lantern Festival, Dragon Boat Festival, Ghost Festival, and others. Our emphasis on the main festivals in Taiwan only. Okay. This is the video about the Taiwanese monks traditions conflict with Gringos. It is a big problem in Taiwan, especially between the authorities and proletariat. Okay. But I think the time we don't have enough time to watch the video, but I just tell you I will use the videos or photos to make my students to do the critical thinking. Okay. We're still practicing common offerings when we have to deal with some things that we might don't want to do. For example, to pray for our ancestors, even our siblings or friends. Okay, but most Taiwanese they always force themselves to do that. Okay. In addition, I will introduce feng shui and fortune telling. Many Taiwanese people, especially according to some articles, some scholars research, many Taiwanese, especially Taiwanese women, are likely to ask the fortune teller if they can okay, from their family to their future or to their future. Okay. And that's some folk customs that, just like I said, maybe you will feel very weird or terrible when you hear the folk customs. Okay, it includes religious customs in weddings, funerals, and other celebrations. Photo, do you understand? What is the red envelope? Why you can see the red envelope is on the road, or on the corner, in the park, or somewhere else. Please don't pick it up, especially if you come from other countries. Do remember not to pick it up anytime. Okay, that means ghost marriage. Okay, and when people die, we will find or buy. We will fold by ourselves the paper lotus. It symbolizes that people can make their ancestors or their friends to the West, to meet the God or goddess. Okay, I also think the Root Temple, or some quiz. For example, I will show that just as a QR code, and I will ask my students to scan the QR code, and we can have again. If you are interested in this, you can scan the QR code. You can scan the QR code. Okay. We have DM. We have DM. Okay, this is question one. Who's the questions here, and we have 4 options. Only one is correct. Only one is correct. Okay. You can pass the correct answer, and later the screen will show you which one is correct. Which one is correct? And Manchu is the correct. Manchu is the C Glot. College in Taiwan. The first famous C college in Taiwan. And the next, okay, Liang, you get 580 points, and you are currently number one. Okay. Okay, this is the question two. This is question 2. Those amounts typically occurs in each lunar month. And you also have 4 questions too. And the correct is July. The correct answer is July. Okay, Liang is still number 1. And the third question is, which Chinese festival is associated with dragon boat tourism? It is very easy, right? Okay, congratulations. Who is the... Oh, Liang, still Liang. It's number 1. It's number 1 so far. Okay. The next question is, come down here. What is the comparative charm in Chinese vocabulary? Jake, pennant, or blah blah blah. No one answered this question. And the correct answer is Taiwan. The last question is during which festival traditionally is also the easy question. Okay, countries. Okay, the champion goes to Liang. Yeah. Okay, so this is the group. I do the same class, and it makes the young students happier and more needs in the course. Okay. Here concludes my interest sharing of teaching experiences. I sincerely welcome your feedback and ideas. Thank you very much.
Do you have any questions for Professor Zheng? Was it very interesting teaching practice? I guess you can ask in Chinese too. Okay. Then since there's no questions, and I think can you repeat again how much the ratio of international students and local students?
Yeah, 7 to 3.
7 is international.
Yeah.
Also
70%.
70% is from outside of Taiwan.
Yeah.
So my first question is, how do you plan to? Is this class conducted in group or individual? Both. Yeah. And do you have any plan of how to divide for example, domestic students and international students.
Choose their partners by themselves, but in some states.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the maximum of the group is 1.
Okay. 5 students, 1 student. Okay.
The maximum.
I have usually have a program with grouping students. So first time I did let them choose their own partners. And realize there is a quite big difference in terms of performance. Because they know who is relatively good, who is not necessarily not knowing what's going on. And second time I kind of use, for example, random choice. Use like this website or AI to randomly separate the group. And then they cannot complain. But then realize some students are happy about this grouping because they need to kind of social. Especially if you have that many international students, I think it becomes a big challenge how to group the students. And also, you mentioned about exhibition. How do students prepare for the exhibition? Is it individual or group?
It depends. Because some students they don't like to take activities under other people. So I agree with him or her to be responsible for examples. Yes. So they will ask me.
Okay.
If they have 2 or 3 partners, they can. They always come to see me together, and I can understand what they are considering for their division in previous, and I always give them some suggestions. If they can accept it, they will encourage my friends.
Okay, great. So the content of exhibition is you already plan what the students will produce for the exhibition.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Because usually, once again, when you have a sort of goals to achieve, it becomes sort of project-based or program-based planning. So that when the student work together, they have more kind of creativity. So I do think that you provide the topic while the students try to work together. One individual with you, I think that's a very nice approach. But at the same time, usually that's where conflict happens. And for example, if this is EMI class, and majority of students are international, then some students get frustrated based on the conversation, understanding, or difficulty communicating. So I think in terms of conducting EMI, I do find a lot of problems, especially when international students and local students work together. Because for Taiwanese students, it's like, why do I need to do it in English?
Yeah. Because my course is not compulsory. The students who selected this course, maybe they have interest this kind of course.
Okay.
So they understand that this is a live course. So far, students, Taiwanese students, many students. I think they have the ability of staying in listening.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Do you have any other questions? Or is it teaching plan?
Or you can give them feedback.
Okay. Or yes, I just think using the technology like powerful tools, the questioning, I think it's wonderful. It's really fun.
Very fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then, do you plan to prepare every week, or it's an occasional events? that?
Almost every week.
Almost every week.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is not and it is free.
Okay.
So it just make simple and this first units.
So last week I have this class for 60 students for introduction to design subject. I have about 60 students, and I do have a lot of difficulty engaging the students in this course because I'm teaching English while students, they're freshmen, they're first year students. They feel very tired listening to English lecture. So I had this guest lecturer came from outside talking about this character design. It's called Pop-Mart. It's a very popular shop for young generations studying these cute characters. So he prepared gifts. If student asks questions, he will give one gift, one character box, which I don't know how much cost, maybe 200 or 300 TD. Students are so enthusiastic. And they even using Google Translate to translate to English and asking the questions. That never happened in my course. Like no one really asked the question if I open the floor for questions in the last 10 minutes or 5 minutes. So then they're just like, so I thought like this kind of game or even giving a feedback as start with small gift maybe engage the student a lot more. I think that I wanted to do this for my class. Maybe next semester. Okay, thank you so much.
No matter speak English or Chinese, both are okay.
English?
Both are also, yeah. Because time is very limited, I just want to ask in Chinese. I just heard， 像你是常有那个本国生跟外国生对吗？对不对？那一般来讲，外国生都会比较愿意发表参与，对不对？所以他最近有发表去的，对，没错没错。那本国生的参与比较那么热烈的时候，你怎么样处理他？
就像我刚刚回答主持人的问题一样，就是因为我这次不是必修是选修的，所以很多台湾生他们在选修的时候，他在升学的时候他是1样的一个对，所以他自己有心理准备，对，所以到目前为止，那些台湾生的英文能力，我觉得都普遍上来讲都还可以，就是说啦、听啦都对，但是真的就像老师说的，台湾生还是一样可以的最特别，对，他们只是不习惯这种上课的方式对，然后所以可能老师要去勾引他们，对，像利诱啊，对，比如说加分啊，或者是收小礼物啊什么的，对，然后那些有时候真的是过来，有些学生他真的就是从来不会去够开口的那种，就会胁迫他一定要讲话，对，然后因为他们的英文能力其实还不错，只是说没有那个习惯，对，没有那个上课的习惯，不习惯这种上课方式，对，所以我觉得我通常都是会利诱加胁迫他们来生产。
Shall we move on? Okay, next presentator is Yang Mei from Zheng University, Department of Industry, Home and System Engineering.
Good morning, everyone, teachers and moderator. So my name is Yang Mei. I'm from Malaysia, but I'm teaching currently in Zheng University. So my course has around 17 master students. It's a course called Leadership Strategy, and then this is the course that this lesson we recorded during the week 8 of the lesson, which is during the midterm exam week. Okay. My class falls on Thursday, and if you remember, Thursday has a lot of holidays during the typhoon, so it was cancelled. So I had to record this and show you how this class was conducted. And I have a MOOC class that goes along with this course as well. And then every week, the student will spend 1 hour to watch a video that I recorded on MOOC. And then they will watch the video and they will answer the questions in the discussion board. And so this is how when they enter the MOOC platform, and then they will watch the video, and then they will answer the questions. So I have my guest speaker every week. So they will be...
Hi, I'm Yemi, the facilitator of the Song Power at Your Place.
And I'm Pat. Yeah, Pat is my invited speaker for the MOOC class. And then we will discuss a lot of things about strategy lessons and leadership classes during the MOOC. And I think it's better for me to just turn off the volume. And as you can see how I speak now, it's almost the same as how I speak in the video. And then students will leave their comments there, and then my TA, teaching assistant, will be replying to their comments. And the students are from international, so that means I have 196 students on the MOOC classes from France, Ecuador, and Africa. So they interact with each other on these classes of leadership strategy. And you can see different cultures that have different definitions about leadership. So this is where, when I recorded for my class, students, 70 students here, said only 30% of foreign students among these 17 students. And I give instructions about how during this class, they have to provide a leadership insights. What does leadership insights means? They conducted a interview with their community leader. Okay, they can choose a leader that they really look upon, and then they interview them during week 3 of the class. And so after they completed the interview, they have to write an interview report. And they submitted the interview report during week 5. So I gave them 2 weeks to complete the report. So week 5, they submitted the report, and then by week 8, they had to come up with a 1-page summary of the report on what they learned from the leaders and what are their reflections from the leaders. Okay, so that 1-page summary, they have to upload it onto the assignment area for all the students to read. Just 1 page, each one of them. So every student will have to read 1 page of the summary from each leader, each student. So it's actually an individual assignment, but I make it so that everyone will engage to know the leaders. So after that 1-page summary readings, they come to the class and they provide peer evaluations to the students. What I did was that they will have to come to these group discussion, rotations. So everyone will share their leader's insight from that 1-page summary. They will share it to their friends in a group. So since I have 17 students, so there will be 3 groups. And there will be 3 rotations. And you can see that every time after they share, the first round of the rotation, there were no questions. I'm the only one who asked a question. And then after the second and the third rotations, you can see other students started to ask questions because they are already familiar with the rotation. And the speed of the students sharing about their leaders are also faster. So from 5 minutes, and then on the third round of rotation, the students only spend 3 minutes to share a leader because they know and they learn what to share and what is not needed and what are very important. So this is the first round, so he spent 5 minutes to 6 minutes to share about one leader. But when we come to the tab rotations, and you can see that these students, see he's still speaking, and then I was waiting for my turn to ask questions, so I keep nodding and encouraging him to complete his sharing, and then comes, this is the time when we ask questions, so I interacted with them, what are the important lessons or values that they learn from the leaders. So the rest of the students heard my questions and they learned how to ask questions the next rotation. And then from there you can see that the next students, the Taiwanese student and the foreign student, they start interacting with one another. I do not have to interrupt anymore. So this is during the third rotation. So I found that more rotations help the sharings and learning and the engagement between the students. So, and the sharing is just very short because in the past when I have the students standing in front of the stage and do the presentation, it actually doesn't help the other students to engage because they will just think that this is your assignment and it's not my business. But when we have them sit together and only spend 5 minutes to share, and it becomes their assignments together, and they are willing to ask questions. So I find that these group rotations methods are very useful for a small classroom and for English speakers to encourage more sharings. And then they have more questions about peer evaluation. So I print a form called peer evaluation 同才评量表, and I have the rubrics on it, like the rubrics, just like the rubrics what you have there, and then we have them evaluate everyone on their presentation during the 5 rotations. So everyone has to have at least 8 students evaluated on the form. Because I know that when they rotate, it is not necessary to have everyone just like today, right? It's not, you will not be able to see everyone, but then at least half of the class, if you evaluated them, it will be a good learning. So after the evaluation, they will the last period. What they will do is that they will go to the assignment area, the midterm presentation assignment area. Under the one-page summary, they will leave their own reflection about what they have learned today. Okay, I allow them to leave in Chinese. Some will write in English. So it's up to them. But as long as they will provide their reflections on what they learned today, it is a good outcome. At least they have a takeaway on that day. Okay, this student has the lowest proficiency in English among the class. So he tends to use Chinese most of the time. But I'm allowing him to do that because I have different levels of students. And you can see that some students who are willing to share, they like to use English. These are the rest with English sharing. Right? Okay, let me get it. So it goes back to the beginning again. But anyway, yeah. So this is how the class was conducted, and so this was how the class was conducted. I have to summarize it in 10 minutes. I hope you be able to understand how this will. I'm actually quite satisfied, and I'm very happy that the outcome is that the students are actually be able to understand what other leaders, what they learn from the leaders, and they internalize it and become their own learnings in the discussion board. Okay, so now I have to open the floor, 4 minutes for question and answer. Yes.
老师，那个配的比赛，我觉得非常的棒哈。我想进一步请教一下，那你希望他们就是负责发展的这个小组的人，哈，个人对一个其他组去分享。
这个不是一个组别作业。The reason why I want to design this is because it is an individual assignment, 个人作业. But most of the time, individual assignments, if you have them present on the stage, people will think that, oh, that's your own individual assignment. It's nothing related to me. What they will do is just browsing their own handphone on in the classroom. So I have to improvise. So to improvise, I actually designed this rotation so that everyone is forced to listen to the student. But to allow so many students to share, I cannot let them share on stage for 10 or 15 minutes. So I shortened it to let them create a one-page summary first. 所以是一步一步来的。先是一个访谈，1个小时的访谈 ，and that 访谈actually 1 hour. They have to submit a video record on YouTube for me to watch. 所以他们会录影，1个小时的访谈在 YouTube 连接。然后呢，我会教他们再做一个1页的简报就好 ，a one-page summary。所以他们就要强迫自己从访谈1个小时那边做一个1页的简报。I'm okay if they use ChatGPT， 他们要用什么样的 AI 都可以，我已经告诉他们了。Because if you are forced to do a one-page summary， 你自己会去想你要放什么东西进去1页就好。Okay, so they know that one page is what they have to present， 因为他们知道他们要在当场说出来。So when they come to the rotation,他们会用5分钟的时间。所以第一次的 rotation 其实他们用了很长的时间，超过6分钟，因为他们还不熟悉嘛，自己要讲什么。So 第一个 rotation 其实用了5、20，我用了40分钟。然后and then we move to the second rotation, they become better in it, right? And so then the third rotations they are very skillful. 3分钟就讲完应该讲的东西，而且英文的那个能力越好，因为同样的字听到别人用嘛。自己拿来用，所以我觉得这样会造成他们讲得非常好的那个英文，到最后就算是那个不喜欢讲英文的同学也讲英文。Yeah, so that's how the class was designed.
How do we find the leader?
There is actually no leader. It's an individual assignment.
They need to interview the leader.
Oh yeah, they have to interview the leader. So the first day of the class, I already tell them. So they actually interview their supervisor, their teacher in the class, and some 其实有很多 they know a lot of in their circle of friends. Some interview ex-bowler, international bowler 台湾国手、保龄球国手。They know a lot of people because of 他们的在学校的那个社团嘛。会认识很多人，so they engage with and also 有一些是 speaker from the outside， 所以他们就认识那些 speaker， 他们就去找那个讲师，这样。
请问一下，这个是一整个学期的 project， 还是说是一学期发生3次这样的？
没有，这个只是其中的作业，这个session 只是其中的3个小时发生的事情。
这样子要大概占几？
这个占了20%，对。
大概3个礼拜，1个礼拜就把这个做完，访谈加。
没有，第3周是访谈，第5周是交那个访谈的报告，第8周把那个1页的简报放上来，让其他同学有机会去读，不过我猜其他人应该不会去读它的。所以我就给他们第8周才放上来，所以其实应该是3周的 effort 吧。
我应该它是一个大概，那最后一个讨论，最后只有分讨论5分钟 share 是第10周嘛，或者是
第8周，就是第8周当天这个 record 就是当天录影的。
他们有大概半个学期知道这件事情，然后可以让自己 ready 到第8周的时候可以 share。
是。
OK， 了解。
对。不过有一些人也真的没有 ready， 他们没有想到老师这么残酷。So I really forced them to speak up because they thought that 他们可以混过去，可是我不让他们混。
这门课修课人数就是限定在20。
对，我们不可以开超过20个人。对，因为其实是15个人，我已经加了2个，17个。
所以一开始就限定就15个人。
对，学校限定15个人修。因为我们的课很多，我们怕开不成对，选修课对，最多是15个人，不可以多了。可是就加了2个人，我的课就多变17了。
Any other questions?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Then, feedback. That's right. Okay. In terms of feedback, I think the course is well planned already, and it looks like you has already thought about a few different ways to engage the students. And I find it very impressive, especially to engage the students in this discussion, which is supposed to be one of the most challenging part of English, teaching English, right? Because they're not there to actually practice English, but to share their knowledge and findings. So I found this kind of switching the groups, and first group that you give more questions, the student learns from you how to engage the presentation of the other student. I sort of very creative ideas, and at the same time must be very tiring. And also utilizing online platform, iLearning, I thought that was very nice. It must be challenging to record the video with you, yes. So therefore, all the included efforts, the course is well planned and looks like very successful. Hopefully, you can share more or find in that. Thank you so much. Okay. 好，是第三个是跟老师老师说，medical university department of healthcare medicine 是有
Good morning, moderator and fellow faculties. My name is Zheng. I'm teaching in Taipei Medical University. And firstly, I want to appreciate or thanks our NTUT, National Taiwan University, giving this opportunity to demonstrate my English teachings. And secondly, I know that later that moderator and fellow faculty give me the comment and suggestions. I'm just expecting your feedbacks. And the last, not least, is that during my demonstration, you're welcome to interrupt me because just like I'm really in the class, I'm teaching my students. And firstly, again, there's the first minutes I have to just describe my lesson plans. So I want to introduce my students' background. And they are Indonesian students. And from Central America, like the St. Vincent, St. Christopher, Belize, and also some students from Africa, like Swatini, and also some students from South Asia, like Vietnam and Indonesia. So totally I have 11 students, and most of them got scholarship from our the national governments. They give them this kind of offer. And my course scheduled on the Wednesday afternoon from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's a 2-hour credits, 2 credit hours. And their English level, I just try to measure around from the B1 to C1. So actually can just commutable. Okay? And the purpose for my course, and especially for this class, I will just be focused on the electronic health record. My subject, the name is Health Information Management. And now I'm demonstrating the third week of the course. And the topic is electronic health record. So I want to then know that what's the definition of electronic health record, and also I want to know that how they really work in our daily life. Okay. And the lesson plans, I just learned from NDP course that they use the BOPPS, reaching objective, the pre-assessment, participatory, and post-assessment, and finally will be the summary or summaries. Okay? So I'm going to start my class, my demonstration. I just presume you are my students, so I just want to interact with you guys. Again, I just welcome any interruptions. If you have any questions, welcome. Okay, so first I give you my content for these topics, for this class, and I focus on the second part. Will be that the definition of EHR and how they work in our daily life. So first I'm going to review last class. I'm going to tell you, I already told you that what is the medical record. And nowadays, our medical record just transformed from the paper medical record to the electronic health record. And you know that in the old days, the doctors, their heavy ends just not, can recognize. It's hard to know what they are writing. But now, for the electronic health record, because they are digitalized, so you can see that all are typed at the computer. So it's very clear and know what the doctor wants to treat the patients. So you need to remember that. And I'm going to the second part, how the EHR works and what's their definitions. Expect that for the electronic health record, it's good for physicians to treat the patients. And the main point or main purpose for the electronic health records, they want to have the physicians to treat the patient and want to know the outcome. Do they give the better outcome to the patient treatments? So I'm asking that better medical informatics equal to the better care of outcomes. How to prove it? So I'm going to give you an article. It's a very prestigious magazines. It's a New England journal. So it's very famous. So this started in 2007, and they give you our results. It's around 20,000 patients divided into 2 groups. One group in the color, in the blue color, is used the electronic health record. And the other groups use the paper medical record, is used in the orange color. And they want to test how the electronic health record is better. So they just tested 2 parts, and first we just test their blood sugar, and they use their HbA1c. And the second, they want to test their eye exams. And outcomes is that use the electronic health record, we call EHR, 50.9%. But use the paper record, they only get the blood sugar test only 6%. 0.6% to follow. So the outcome, you can see that for the EHR, they just follow the physician's order and can check their blood sugar. So the outcome is better. And the second part, you can see that for eye exams, because the patient is the diabetes patient. If they don't check their eye exam, and they'll have the complications. So the result will show that 43.7% use the EHR and they follow physician's order to check their eye routinely, annually. So only the 15.7% use the paper medical record follow. So it's very significantly, you can see that how the EHR works. And before I'm going to start this class topics, and the main point, I want to know that EHR terms, so many terms use the EHR, and then later I'm going to give you these scenarios. So still remember last class, I also mentioned about hospital information system abbreviation to be HIS. And also use the HIS, we have the data repository. And that will be clinical data repository called CDR. And for the EHR, we must have the computerized vision of the entry, and that is similar in the clinical decision support system. And later, I will just introduce what are them, and you have the idea and how they can perform. And also, we have the list of risks in the EHR for the laboratory or radiology information systems. So finally, I will tell you that in the hospital, we must have the VPN for the security and use the VPN virtual private network, and you can get through from your place to the hospital to get information. And finally, use the EHR, we can just extend to the continuous care, and document can just not limited in the hospital. And finally, we hope that everyone has a personal health records, so you can keep track of your health. So that's a quick scenario. I can see that it's a Dr. Smith working in this hospital, and today he just expects one patient going to visit him. So he wants to check the patient's laboratory data and his medications. So he just, in his house, in his office, he just use the computer through by the VPN, directly go to get electronic health record by his system. So check the patient's medication and lab results. And the computer quickly can give his CDSS, like alert or reminders, can make him to just know how to just treat patients. And finally, the patient record can go to the EHR. So longitudinally or continuously can treat the patients. And also that doctors can know that what happened for the treatment, for the cost, all the things. So you guys know that how the EHR can work in our daily life. So now, I just want to emphasize, before the class, I already put my PowerPoint in my e-learning system. I just presume that already read that PowerPoint. However, now I want to just emphasize the EHR, very important, is a clinical support system to give the reminder and alerts. And based on the Association of HIMSS, it's a prestigious and a leading association in EHR. It's just divided into the 7 stages. So now I'm going to tell you that if you want to use EHR, you know that it's multimedia, not only text, not only the numbers, but into the videos or the images, like all the films. So for the operation room, you can see that physician can check those films in the operation room. And second, medication. It must be the closed room for the patient safety. And then, you know that they must be interoperable. That term is very important, interoperation, because the patient data not only limited in one hospital, they have to be interchanged between or among hospitals. So that's very important. And last is not least, we need the longitudinal health record. It's our goal. We hope that our medical record not in stored in 1 year or 10 years. We want to have them in our whole life. And that will be very useful for patients and for physicians. So I'm going to tell you this kind of conclusion for this class list our topics. So first one, electronic data, the EHR, digitalized. And the second is paperless. But you must know that it must have electronic signature for low purposes. Otherwise, you have to clean up. The third is multimedia. So we saw that text, number, images, video, audio, those kinds of data or information in the EHR. And that has a decision support system to have the physician to make decision. And very important, must be exchangeable. So hospital, physicians, clinicians can share information. And the last but not least, must be longitudinal. So I'm going to tell you that how I evaluate my student when they get my message in this class. So I use the Zoom video. So quick demonstration here. So that will be 11 students here. So you can find out this. I have 11 students. I asked them, what's the attitude of EHR? So they just answer me. So 11 students say that electronic data, and 9 students choose the multimedia and those kind of things. And I will ask them for the second answers, multimedia. 2 students didn't answer me. So I will use these functions. I just randomly ask them and ask the student. For example, I said, Arthur, you just use or choose number 1, but you didn't choose number 2. Why you didn't choose number 2? Show me your reasons. So I have some interactive with the students. So I just gave you results. I put here. So first one, I use the Zoom video. That would be the responsive interactive system. So okay, it interacts with the students, and I know that how they learn from my class. If just answer the wrong answer, I will ask them how come, and they have to just reply me. And so finally, I recode this data and just keep them on track and follow their performance. So all in all, I would say that after class, I do a summary, like a recap or take-home message. I would say that for this class, keep in mind that what attribute of EHR, and also pay attention that the design of EHR must be patient-centered. Okay, so I close my demonstration, and I welcome your feedback and suggestions. Thank you.
Any questions? I have some questions. Yeah. So, first question is that do we have textbooks for this kind of topic? A textbook or any? If I want to learn by myself,
Yeah.
is that possible?
Actually, so in the first class,
Yeah.
I would just give the students the textbook,
Okay.
and they can just buy it or borrow from our library.
Okay.
Actually, I would just ask them, before the class, and you have to read the chapter for the class before, and I would assign someone, and would say what you read from the chapter, and can just have interactions.
Yeah. And second, so how do you grade them? How do you?
Oh yeah. So they have 3 parts. And first part would be that, like, I use the Zubio. When I start class, I just use Zubio just to review what I have taught them in the last class. So I know that how they learn. And second part will be during the class, their participations. Okay, they enjoy or they just participate in class. And the third part will be the midterm and final presentation and also term paper.
Okay.
Yes, there are 3 parts.
So no exams, only presentation.
Yeah, it's a graduate programs.
Okay.
Yeah, graduate programs. And so it's also the elective class.
Okay.
So if you take the exam, so many students would not like to take the class. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Professor, one said this is introduction of electric health record course.
Yeah.
Right.
The course name is Health Information Management.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the total, the contents is Health Information Management.
Okay.
But the EHR is one topic in this course.
Oh, so this course, this class happens in the beginning or in the middle?
In the third week of the course. Yeah. So first I have the first class introduction, the syllabus, also just the manual, the textbook, and also I just divide the student into 3 groups, and because they have the group presentations. And the second class, my design is that they know what is the EHR or what the health information management. So they have the background, and the third week I just focus on the topic of the lesson health records.
Any other questions?
Yes.
My only concern is, as I know the EHR matters in the patient center, I'm curious about the patient privacy. How is EHR ensure patient privacy?
Okay. So that's very important issues. In the EHR parts, I just mentioned about that. If you want the paperless, you must use the electronic signature. And electronic signature is protected by high-tech, advanced like descriptions, those kind of technologies. So we have the PKI. I don't know if you have heard of this technology. Public key infrastructure. So if you have the public key and also private key, and you can just access to get patient data. So only the clinician in hospital, they have the card. They have a professional card, and they have the private key. In hospital, they have the public key. So through the information, and the clinician can get the data. So under that kind of the protections, until now, I didn't heard that any just the privacy breach in the hospital. Otherwise, you can just know that a lot of news from our some social media. So right now, I'm just quite confident for that.
So this data is be able to share with different hospitals or even different countries?
But right now, maybe not different countries because the system may be different. But in the long term, we just hope that we can share, internationally. Yeah. And actually, this is a little bit complex because we have national health insurance. So we have national health insurance administration, the governments, and they want to force the hospitals. You have to upload your data because you want to get money back. So you are forced to just, claim your services. And when you claim your services, those data have to upload to the server of the national health information, administrator. So they have to collect the data and share. And the purpose is they want to just reduce the repeat exam or medications. And also give the physician of data and even better to know what happened to the patients in their history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Then I will give you a suggestion.
Yes.
So Professor Wang's class is very focused in this professional knowledge, which comes with a lot of specific terms.
Yeah.
which I think it's, I mean, from me looking at this 10 minutes demonstration, I find it very actually challenging to follow. Because first, I think, once it goes into professional terms, there's a lot of abbreviations, which is shortened vocabulary of long terminologies, right? So I think that's another challenging for this EMI education, because we are not only training students with general English, but we want them to learn more specific disciplinary professional language.
Right.
So I found it, Professor, when first introduced those abbreviations with 4 sentences, and for students to follow your actual diagram of Dr. Smith. I find that that's very helpful, but still for me it's difficult because what's PH or off that positive health record? Okay, now I understand, but the other vocabulary I think it's still very challenging. Okay. So for maybe your graduate student would start with, maybe it's able to follow, but I think I find it very challenging part of your course curriculum.
Yeah. I have to just reply that for the student backgrounds, and 11 students from different countries, and most of them, they have a work experience.
Okay.
Some they work in the hospital, some are physicians, some not nurses, some in the medical laboratory scientists. So they already have the background.
Oh,
so then they just quickly they know that what happened in Taiwan.
Okay.
Because as we have some benefits, or we have some good points to share. So we quickly share about Taiwan, Taiwanese the background or our advantage there. Okay. So I was just like I use two videos. So I want to know that you understand what I'm talking, and I quickly have the interactions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that was really interesting course. I guess everyone cares about health. I wonder what happened with my health record.
Yeah.
Okay. But otherwise, I think when I took EMI training course from Cambridge English, they taught us to program our course with very clear introductions and also review from particles, content, and give this a clear summary.
Yeah.
I think it also helps students to take away what they learned from this course and what to expect from this course. I think that was very structured. Thank you for your sharing.
Thank you.
Okay. 好的。The fourth presenter, Hanli 老师 from東吳 University of Department of Business Administration.
Hi guys, good back.
Hi everyone, I'm Li Han from 东吴大学. Okay, so first I want to thank to RCMI to give us so many courses and this activity. Actually, I learned a lot today, like the tour of Kahoot and Zubio, and also the design of rotation. So it's my turn and also my pleasure to share my course design for marketing seminar course. Okay, so the marketing seminar course is aimed for senior level students like 4th or 3rd grade in undergraduate students in business administration department. Actually, I have 59 students in my class. Okay, so this is a selective course. And all my students is Taiwanese. Okay, and about half of them have the prior experience of EMI, but the others are not. So the English level is very diverse, okay, ranging from, I think, maybe A2 to C1. So some of students are really fluent, okay, but the others, a little bit students just afraid of speaking English. Okay, so I incorporate group discussion in this course. So because I think they can help each other during the group discussion to help them bridging the language gap and to achieve maybe collaborative learning. Okay, and most of them have a strong background in marketing because they completed their marketing management course in their second year. So, in other words, they need to pass the marketing management course and then they can choose my class, okay, marketing seminar. So, the marketing seminar course is going to encourage students to engage in a deeper exploration of marketing concepts and to addressing some misconceptions or stereotypes within this field. So, in the end of the semester, they need to do a group presentation to give suggestions to firms in Taiwan. So I asked them to try to connect a firm and then help the firm to do their marketing better. So they need to interview the firm, maybe the manager, and also they need to do some analysis like provide questionnaires to customers and analyze customer needs and provide a final solution and suggestion for the firm, like how to do better in search engine optimization, how to do content marketing, like that. Okay, so now I record maybe 10 minutes for my class.
Okay. Hi guys, good afternoon everyone. Okay, are you ready for today's class? Okay, thank you. Today we are going to talk about marketing strategy. You all learned marketing strategy, right? Maybe 2 years ago in your marketing management class. Okay, so today we will start with a brief memory recall and then we will go deeper to discuss marketing strategy. Okay, so here is the definition of marketing strategy. Marketing strategy is the marketing models that a company hopes to create customer value and establish profitable customer relationships. Okay, in short, companies want to determine which.
Okay, in this part, I follow a quick review of the basic concept of marketing strategy. Because maybe time is a little bit limited, so I just go quick. Okay, and then I explain marketing strategies. I use the scaffolding technique to separate the marketing strategy into 3 steps. Okay, like this.
Companies will divide the market into small groups. Okay, and these groups have the same attributes or characters of customers. Okay. So I use a picture of the puzzle to demonstrate this idea. One piece of the puzzle is one segment, okay, and all these together, that means the whole market. Okay. And after you identify a segment, companies will use the next step, targeting. Okay. This means we will decide which segment we want to focus on. Companies will choose 1 or 2, maybe 3 segments to serve these customers. Okay. So this step will help companies to make sure their resource allocate. They use their resource efficiently and effectively. And then the final step is positioning. Okay. So positioning means companies will make sure themselves are different from the other competitors. So in this part, we will develop marketing mix. That means 4P includes product and price. Okay. Place, okay, good, okay, 14. Okay, so now we start from segmentation. Why do we do segmentation? Why? What are we doing segmentation? Because companies are not money. It is impossible everyone wants them, right? Okay, so maybe some companies can do that. Like 7-Eleven, okay. 7-Eleven wins almost everyone's heart, right? So we said that 7-Eleven serves the mass market in Chinese, that's not okay. But most of the company will just choose one or two segments to serve. Okay. That means they serve the niche market in Chinese. Okay. So we will need to do segmentation. But how we do segmentation? We use what kind of criteria to segment the market, to separate customers, and actually okay. Age, okay, demographic age, and gender, good. Income, good. Okay, then generation, okay. So since like you are all familiar with this kind of attribute, right? Okay, but stop and think about. Look around you. Look around your classmates.
Okay, in this part, they all learned this kind of segment tools in their market management course. But actually, this is not a really perfect tool to segment market. So in this part, I asked them to rethink about these tools, and I want to help them addressing some misconceptions. Like we said that, we use demographic to segment the market. But I asked them to think about, they are all in the same age. They have the same preference in their consumptions. Or they think, oh, not. So we go deeper to think what kind of attribute a segment market is more appropriate. Okay, yes.
You are listening. You are in the same life stage, right? Okay, and you also have the maybe same income, same generation, and share the same culture, right? But do you have the same shopping preference? Maybe not. Why? Why? Based on the segmentation theory, and we think that, based on this criteria, you are only in the same segment. But you think, no, I don't have the same shopping preference with my classmates. Why? That means there are some important factors will affect customer behavior, right? Besides, so let's start with the example of Chanel. You all know Chanel, right? Chanel is a fashion luxury brand, and it is famous for its purse, perfume, right? So, do you think, who do you think is a target customer of Chanel? Who's target customer? Rich woman? Okay, and maybe superstars, idols, celebrities, young and rich? Right,
Okay, so that gives the stereotype of the customer of Chanel, and I asked them to do a group discussion, so to think about if they standing outside of the store of Chanel and observe who go into the store, and I asked them to give me a story. So who come to the store? Okay, alone or with partners, boyfriend, and why they will buy the Chanel. So they I give them maybe 3 to 5 minutes to discuss. And during the discussion, I go to every group, join them, listen to them. Okay, and in the end, I ask them to share their opinion. So in the sharing part, I receive a lot of different stories, like, I I graduate and I go to work maybe for 1 or 2 years, and I think, oh, I do a really great job, so I want to buy a gift for myself like that. Or maybe parents go to their daughter, or maybe a group of friends need to give a birthday gift to another one, or like that.
Right, then you can do that. Okay, try to get the summary in English. And I hope every group will send a representative to share the results of this discussion. Okay, let's go. 3 minutes.
So during the discussion, I allow them to get up and together.
Okay. Okay, next I will go as celebrity or influencer endorse this brand. Okay, thank you, and then? Okay, so good. So I need to
Okay, because of the time limit, okay, after students share their opinion, then I will do a conclusion to close this part and then go into the next part. Okay, thank you. Yes, because of the time limit.
Do you have any questions to ask?
Maybe only one person.
One question.
Please.
请问一下，这个是必修课吗？
选修课。
Selective
class。
哇，那很棒。请问一下，这个会上面的话，如果有些同学参与不够的话，你怎么样去处理？
就是因为其实这堂课从第一堂课一开始，我就会带着那种行走式的麦克风，所以我会一直不断的走下去。然后在课程的过程中，只要有发言，我都会鼓励他们，然后很棒，就是感谢他们的贡献。就是发言其实没有对或错，那像是台湾的孩子都是很害怕讲错话嘛，所以呢，只要他们发言，即便他方向错了，我都会说，很有趣的 idea， 哦，好棒的观点。然后但是我们还有另一个角度，有没有人要再试试看？所以透过这种方式，不敢发言的孩子会慢慢敢发言。然后在 group 里面的时候，我走下去的时候，我也都会尽可能去鼓励平常比较少发言的人。那我觉得后来大概3到4周之后，他们就会形成一个氛围，就是在 group discussion 的时候，比较少讲话的人会优先讲话。然后他讲完了，那其他人再补充一些更深的 idea， 才不会说，他其实好不容易就是有个想法，可是别人都讲完了，那他就更不讲话这样子。对，所以我觉得是一个怎么讲，文化的慢慢的塑造这样子。对。
发言会说什么发言选项之类的。
我其实是有，因为他们小组坐在一起，我其实有座位表的，所以大概2、3周后，我大部分可以记得所有人这样子。对，因为有些人也是重复有修过课的，对，所以发言会加分，但是没有那么制式的，就是加1分加2分，就是他们也知道，他们一发言，我自己就会在座位表上画正字记号这样。对人多是因为我们系很大，我们系总共有4个班，对，所以一届有200多个人，然后看选修课开的没有那么多，所以我们每班都蛮大班的。对啊。
像刚刚讲加分是，它是假设100分是100分上面加分，还是说我成绩里面有10% 就是你说你没这样，你那个10分
可以这样的吗？
是还在一个比例内的。
哦 ，OK. So there's a suggestion like I think first this EMI class for large scale class. Finally, I said there's 59 students. I think biggest concern is when the English level is different among the students, divide the conducting those activities and not necessarily conducting. They must internally they discuss in Chinese or in English.
Mainly in English, but
Oh,
if
okay.
they cannot do that, they just have one word can what to say in English, yes.
Oh, okay. So I think there are a few, in my case, I have a few concerns because when they use English to do a group discussion, tend to become very simple conversation because then they don't go in the deep of, for example, sharing actual experience. Even though they want to say something, they cannot find the language to express so that they say, oh yeah, I never been there. I did once, I didn't know why, you know, like it's pretty simple conversation. Then that actually not necessarily helps the students to engage in their disciplinary education, which probably to elaborate more ideal business because of business administration. So I do find that when I ask them to do a group discussion, I not necessarily limit their discussion in English, but ideally, the content is more important than just fit in one language. But then the balance between, okay, so how much percentage of Chinese versus English, that becomes, I think, challenging for instructors because we wanted to create their atmosphere for students rather than I say, hey, now you can actually speak in Chinese. So that I find it's quite challenging, especially with the number of students. And I saw in a video, the one that talking is very active, while I saw in the back, she's like almost not, it's not like that. But that's also for us, we need to plan how we can actually engage more students than just relying on those already active. And that's also question the big number of students. So in my experience, I actually did workshop. So they actually everyone needs to do other than one student who presents the class. Or midterm, I tell them I have 60 students, but everyone just needs to speak. So I understand, okay, they're not going to need English, but not relying on somebody in the group. And the last thing is, I think the grading also affects to their participation. If, for example, this group discussion or presentation actually gain a point.
Yes. So the part of the grade is about the participation. So the participation includes they present and share their opinion.
Okay.
Also the active degree during the discussion.
So those are actually because who spoke in the discussion, after the discussion. The students raise a hand and spoke, or you did. I think that's nice. It's actually very challenging for me. I can't remember students' names. So I don't know if I should do that and I know that everyone talks. 60 students, that's cool.
They sit in the big school.
Oh.
So I have a table.
Oh, okay. So there are fixed students. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Student capital. Let's move on to the last year. Last professor. Wow. Okay, so the last presenter is Cha Yu-Ling, also from National Central University, Department of Computer Science and Information Engineering.
How long can I present? Okay. Hello everyone, I'm Zheng. I'm from National Central University. And my class name actually is machine learning. Okay. Machine learning is the foundation of the AI model. And here I will present the part of the model in the machine learning, which is a classification model. And here, the following, I will show some how do I teach a section, a model section. But first, I will show some example of classification, how to classify the object. And then I will tell the student what is the learning objective in the next section. And then to review what I have learned related to this classification model. And SVM is a model. I will introduce one of the classification model. And then every session, because my class, the student can not only know the concept of AI model, because they are CS students, so they need to know how to implement that. So every session I will have a lab. Some lab, if it is easy, I will let them as a homework. But in the advanced part, I will teach in the class step by step to teach them how to implement. And I will show how to check the student progress in the lab. And finally is the summary, and I will give them about 5 to 10 questions each class to test whether they understand the concept. So first, when I want to teach this model, I will show that you know what is classification model. If you learned what you can do, you can predict the survival of Titanic people. Yeah, you can use their data to predict the survival. And this one also is an example of the classification model. You also can show to detect the object and show the class. For example, this is person and this is red eagle or rabbit. Yeah. And then I will tell them after this class, you will know the basic concept of classification model, including how to extract a feature, the target library, and then you can know some of the classification model. I cannot teach all the model, but I will teach the very foundational and very popular classification model. And also you need to implement model and use some evaluation metrics to evaluate your performance. And when I talk about this model, because I have some overview, so I will let them to remind what they have learned related to this model. In AI, we usually have unsupervised, supervised learning, and reinforcement learning have some different class of the model, and also this is very popular generative AI. And I will let them know the classification model is in the supervised part. In the supervised part. So they will know that in a big category, they have 3, unsupervised, supervised, and the reinforcement learning, and the subclass, they have some classification and regression. This is like a knowledge graph. They have a hierarchical label to let them know what they are learned. And in the supervised learning, they have the regression for continuous data and classification to do the classify the object. Yeah. And the continuous data is just like the data that have the time continuous. So you can use this time continuous data to do the analysis. This is just an example. And the classification, they have binary and multi-class. This part I have already teach in the first week. So classification model is in the 3rd week. So I will use this part to get them to retrieve their memory to let them know, oh, the first part when I do the overview, the first week when I do the overview, and the 3rd week, this part is related to the part in the first week. Yeah, this is also the example I have shown in the first week. Okay. And then, after I do some overview of the classification model and extract the memory of the classification model, this is the formal introduction of one of the classification model, which is called a support vector machine. Yeah, this is one of the classification model. And because of the time, and this is the formal analysis, so I may just go through these slides. This is tell the history of this model, and then I will go to tell them how to use, why we need to invent this model, because maybe the data that are very high dimensional, we need to do the classification. Okay, maybe I can skip this. And they will know how to use this model. And they want to do the classification because this model has some limitation. They need to know the situation to choose the correct model they use. Yeah. And after they learn the model, they will have some implementation lab. Okay. And because I use this story at first, so I will use this as a lab to give them the data, the training data of Titanic people, and also give them the testing data to test their model. This is the real data, the data from cargo. I will show the platform later. This data they have many features of people. This one, cargo. Cargo actually is a platform of AI model, which they have many competition and many data provided by industry. And then we can use this data to do the AI model, and this data student can know how to analyze real data. And you can see there are many features of this data, so I will ask students to know, to understand the definition of each feature. Okay, this feature, every data will show what is the ticket number and what is the fare, the cabin, and which port the passenger getting to the ship. And then I will ask them to draw the data of each feature to understand the data. Because in the AI model, before we build the AI model, understand the data is the most important part. Otherwise, if you cannot handle data very well at first, the model cannot get the high accuracy. And I will show how to do some pre-processing of the data. But when I show that, sometimes I will give them the code, or sometimes I will give them the question mark. You need to think how to do the implement. That is the idea they have learned before. So I not just give them the code and just let them to type. I will ask them how feel by yourself. Yeah. And then because in my class, I forgot to introduce. This semester there are 68 students take my class, and there are 20 foreign students. Yeah, because the students made a lot of students. So when I teach the lab, I need to know the progress of the lab. So I will use the Google Sheet. And these are many tests. For example, the first one, if you finish the first part of the data processing, and then you can put OK or not. And I can know how many students finished, and I will know whether I go continue the next step. Yeah, use the Google Sheet to check their progress. And then when this is the following part, they need to fill the code and to finish this the implementation. Okay, and these are the visualization of the training and the testing. Yeah, and this one I will also, after that I will also show the Google Sheet. Use the Google Sheet to track the student progress. And after the lab, because the lab I will teach step by step, and then I will give them some assignment. Assignment is about you need to finish the lab and show the training and the testing accuracy of your model. And then I will ask them to upload their model to the platform I just introduced, the Cargo. The Cargo, that is the platform, and they can test your model. So now the student cannot they cannot cheat because they need to upload their model. They need to implement their model and upload to the model and to see the score of your model. Yeah, and this is the baseline, this is me, and I was said that your score need to higher than me. That will be the assignment. Yeah. Sometimes it not can be 0 or you need to higher than my score. Yeah. And then that is the end of the lab, and then I'll give the summary and how you have learned in this section. You can after this section you will have the basic concept of classification model, and then you can do some implementation, and also you can predict the data, and you can know how to evaluate your model. And final, I will give them some quiz, to test the knowledge part. So in each section, they not only need to do the hands-on assignment, they also need to know the basic concept. Yeah. So, and this is the platform we use the E-class. E-class like a Moodle in National Normal University. Yeah, E-class, and we can take the online test on the E-class. Yeah. So I think that's my sharing of the teaching experience. Yeah, is there any question?
OK， 那总之呢，因为我也是资工系老师，然后想问说，你们在资工系的上课过程中会跟学生有很多互动嘛？因为感觉我们系的学生有蛮多人都社恐的。
对，可是就是跟那个我刚刚讲说有68个学生就是上课，那因为电脑教室刚开始在电脑教室上课的那时候就设备很烂，所以后来只要是implementation课我就改线上，然后线上的时候他们就会比较会发言，对，那因为我觉得implementation的地方可能会比较多问题，所以对他们就会问，然后我再用那个 Google Sheet 去 check 他们不清楚。所以其实我觉得 implementation 线上上也还不错，就是他们比较会愿意问，不然实体的在电脑教室，然后我下去选都没有人要来这样。对。
One this course was already taught in English, or
yeah, this semester is in English.
But before was in Chinese.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between you teach in Chinese and English?
Yeah, I think because there are some foundation parts about mathematics, I need to talk about some of the probability. So in English, I don't know whether students can really understand. Yeah, but I think because my class they are foreign students, so I will teach. First time I will use English, and about the difficult part, I will use Chinese to translate again to make sure students understand.
Okay. Because I thought machine learning is mainly structured in English.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe what you teach in terms of scripting and all those contents must be carried in English rather than translated.
The advanced part is the advanced part of the paper is in English, but the student still get used to it to learning Chinese. And the term, that's what I told students. The term, sometimes they use GPT to translate to Chinese. It is really weird. Yeah. And then they will use a simple Chinese as the translation. It's really weird. So when I teach, I will ask them to, the professional term, I will ask them to use it in English.
So question is, when you are teaching Chinese, did you translate original content in English?
No, the professional term is in English.
Oh, it's in English.
For example, the model called SVM, support vector machine. Yeah. You can code the support vector machine, and you can also have their Chinese name. But the Chinese name, the translate is weird. I don't like it. Yeah. And because I want students to get used to this professional term, because when they get some problem, they have a lot of forum in the internet about the AI. When they want to search the solution, they need to use English, the professional term, not in Chinese. No one can understand what they are talking about.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Okay, so then I give a short suggestions, and I guess go to the notice. Okay, the time is very short. So, in general, Chinese class, the class looks like already built with English, the content and flow of everything. I didn't see how you could actually teach in Chinese. looks like already for like content meant to be almost in English. So therefore I feel like in this especially like very cutting edge, technical, innovative engineering, like especially machine learning type of thing, I think for professors and students has to follow global, almost timely educational elements there. So I feel this type of discipline really needs to enhance the way how they construct the thinking process in almost like global language, which probably at this moment is in English. Right? Therefore, I feel like the power of EMI really kicks in how students actually find information through global community, not only Taiwanese community, and to actually find the solutions. I think this is a really core of what Zheng also, the professor, was talking in the morning, global citizen, global education, deep learning. I do find that this content really matches the topic, and therefore I'm hoping the effort goes smooth in the practice.
And also the cargo, the platform, that is the global platform. So you can, when you upload your model, you are competing with the computer in the world. So you can know your model, your ranking, your implementation ability, what is the ranking. That is the way to push students try to learn how to train a model and to enhance their model. Because when you upload and your ranking is really low, that means you are not good.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. Very competitive. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone, and thank you Professor Nakatomo for the amazing moderating, and thank you all the presenters with the amazing presentation. Thank you. If you have written the observation record, please submit to the student. If you still have the empty one, please keep them for the afternoon session. For the afternoon session, you can choose, for those who have presented, you can choose to stay here or go to another classroom to do a class observation. And especially mention Zheng, Yilin Yi, there will be the presentation for on-site to University Austin in the next summer vacation. So if you are interested in attending or applying the program, you may go to Zheng, Yilin Yi to attend their presentation. The afternoon session will begin at 1:20. 1:20. Okay, and you can take the pin-down box in front of Zheng, Yilin Yi. You can either go back to the classroom to enjoy your meal, or anywhere in the campus. But please go back here at 1:20. We will begin on time. And let's do the group photo. Yay!
好，大家往这个荧幕前面走。我们等一下要拍一个大合照之外，还要每一位刚刚分享的老师还有教授，每个都要在那两个海报前面单独拍一个个人照这样子。对对对，那我们等下先拍动态，你们先帮我举牌子这样子。对，等一下再由拍平面。好，大家请站在，不要被挡住喽。我是中间。哦，对比前面的 center。哦，对呀。好，到老师。进来。好，大家我数到3的时候，帮我挥手微笑，然后有拍子的话就摇一下。哦，准备。3、2、1，挥手。好，谢谢。
我们的团队非常专业。
向我们拍大合照，来。好，等一下会两个动作，一个就是很简单，我们正常的站就好。那等下第二个我们比站 ，OK， 我们不会比开玩笑的动作。然后大家呢，数到3给我微笑就好。对，不用一直笑，不然笑久会肌肉太僵硬了哦。OK， 好，来，我们来测光一下。来，我们来一张，1、2、3。 好 ，OK， 好，那我们现在呢，我们先拍第一个动作。OK， 好，来，我们先正常的看镜头微笑给我就可以了哦。好，不好意思。OK， 好，来，手上是笑给我，1、2、3，很好，这张来1、2、3。好，来，现在我们比个赞好吗？一起比个赞。OK， 很好，来，一样笑容给我喽。好，来，我们来一张，来1、2、3，笑容，很好，来再一张，来1、2、3。好，我检查一下，稍等一下。OK， 好，现在我们要每一位都单独跟后面2个海报单独拍合照，对，刚刚没有要求的。对，好，标准知道吗？好。
因为他们下午会发表，下午会开。
OK， 好，那我们就刚刚5位的发表者，对，我们哪一位先来？还是我们按照刚刚发表者？
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for all joining us the Enhanced EMI Excellence with AI Mentorship and Teaching Practice. This was RC-EMI Professional Development Symposium. We are honored to gather here to witness and share your big step towards EMI teaching. Okay. This symposium is hosted by Resource Center for EMI, also known as RC-EMI of National Taiwan Normal University. Through this event, we hope not only to showcase your outstanding performance in English medium instruction, but also to provide platform for mutual exchange, learning and growth. This afternoon, we have 5 participants presenting, with each given 15 minutes slot. Okay, the presentation will include introducing a lesson plan, teaching demonstrations, and around 10 minutes, and Q&A session, discussion session, yearly 3 to 4 minutes. And then I give you some sort of feedback. If there is any, I can provide you good feedback. And we hope that through these segments, we will gain deeper insight into various teaching strategies and methods, and inspire more motivated and innovative ideas. Okay? So the first presenter is Professor Wu Tai from Seoul University,東吳大学, the Physical Education Office. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Basically, my class is Strategic Blueprint, Mastering Sports Management in the Modern Arena. Let me actually play a video of me teaching. Where's the video? Okay, there you go. Basically, there isn't any audio, which is really unfortunate. Let me give you guys a brief background of my students. Basically, they are age 18 and 22, and they are diverse cultural background because I have students from Indonesia, Dutch, and of course local students. And when they choose this course, they can choose willingly, and they choose according to their personal likings. And what I do is that first I understand their background, such as their English proficiency. I have students that are from A2 all the way to C1. The one that's C1 is the foreign student, the Dutch student. He's got a C1. But the rest of the students, they had some difficulties understanding. This is the basic background of my students. Now, in every lesson, I always have a starting point of attention-grabbing ways. Sometimes I share interesting facts, such as, did you guys know that field hockey is second most played sport in the world? And sometimes I would actually just call out their names and ask them certain questions. And I would say, did you know when was field hockey found? And they would have different feedbacks or answers, and I'll call out names. So basically in my lesson, most students are always active and they are always listening clearly. Now, second thing is that in my lesson, I also use a program called Kahoot. It's on the website. And this program helps me interact with the students more. Okay. Now what I do is, in the beginning of the class, I let them do the Kahoot test, but they do not have any answers, so they don't know what's going on. Now, since they know what was in the test in the beginning, now I go through my lessons. Now when I go through my lessons, they will focus on the answers. They will keep trying to focus on these answers, so then later on, I'll use the Kahoot again, and then let them do the answers again. Now, this is a very interesting way for students to interact with one another. Now, thirdly, I always throw case studies. Basically, I'll go through case studies with them in sport management. And these case studies are often real-life scenarios. And these scenarios enable them to understand realistically, and what they do every now and then, they will basically adapt to these vocabularies inside these case studies. So often I'll keep repeating sport management, sport marketing, or facility management, and all these words allow them to slowly adapt and understand. And then after the case study, they would have to redo the questions of the case study and then form into their groups. Now, in their groups, they will have to discuss what was inside the case study, and they will have to send someone up to the stage to give the answers. Okay, they can write the answers down, but I think it's a very good way for them to give the answers, and then we can ask them questions so that I know what level they understand the case study and how they can adapt it with a real case scenario. Now, interestingly, that our university, Suzhou University, we had an ultra marathon, which is a 24-hour race, right? Keep running, and we have students from classes that are asked to become volunteers, and sometimes they are not willing to become volunteers. I let them go to the site to see the whole competition, and then they will have to come back, discuss with their group, and do their presentation about the pros, the cons, and what they think that needs to be improved inside the whole event. So I think it's very interesting because students will have real life skills, and they might become good sport managers in the future. So I think this is a very good way for them to use the resource that they have in the university, and also in the classroom I give them these general ideas, these general knowledge for them to implement. Right? And then I also allow students to watch movies, okay? And these movies help motivate them, such as movies like Moneyball. Sometimes I tell them, in real life scenarios, sport managers need to scout good players, and they need to implement strategies in order to gain high profitability, okay? Because they can't just scout whoever they want. So once they watch the movie, they will go back again, group discussion, and share their own opinions, and see if they were in that role, what would they do? These are the things that allow them to really implement the right strategies in real life case. Okay? And that's about it. In this video, you can also see that students will come up stage and start giving the questions to the case study. Okay, thank you very much.
Some questions open to the floor. Do you want to explain this class is for which grade and how many students?
Basically, students choose the class themselves. So I have a variety of different backgrounds. Basically, some are in the English department, some are in the Japanese department, and some are in international business. And I do also have law students and philosophy students. And so they are interested in the course, but it was quite difficult for me to succeed in opening this course because most students, the first thing they see is all in English. They get frightened. So I often tell students in my other classes that I'm not an English teacher, I'm just teaching you guys knowledge with English to help you guys adapt to the environment. In this environment, maybe in future, you can use them when you graduate or when you go overseas. This is how I encourage them to come and choose my course. And what happened is that students actually enjoy the course because they tell me that they learn something different outside of their field. So they're really interested and they think they learned a lot. Yeah.
And this is for
undergraduates. Yes.
Is there any other questions? Okay. I think then I might be back. I think first what we also did is to engage the students using those cognitive tests with no answer. I think that kind of engagement, especially if your class is not specifically given to a department, but more different background students, I think it's very important and become very challenging to conduct the courses. So I find it that's very useful. And to use case studies to conduct motivate students to participate in the course activity. I think that's also one of the strategies that, for example, EMI needs because a lot of students they are not being part of the classroom because of the language program, language difficulty. So, but at the same time, the concern is how you, professor who carries the case study and students' presentation. That's also, is it done by group or individual?
Basically, it's done by group, but what they do is they wouldn't allow my students to come up all the time. So they would actually, because we have a 16-week course, so what happened is that students will come up one by one, maybe following another week, and they will actually rotate. So it wouldn't be someone that has so much stress and burden coming up all the time. Yeah.
Yes, I think group activity also, you don't know exactly how the group actually communicate. So to put the individual give a presentation, I think also effective. And usually when we do EMI, I think one of the first things we need to do is to give the student a clear idea of what they are going to learn in this course and what's the takeaway, which is like, oh, they need to be able to see what I learned in this course. So with the framework, I think EMI become a little bit more successful for the student with lower English proficiency. So I think that type of idea can be more emphasized to the student to have a successful classroom. Thank you so much. So we'll go over time this time. Okay. So the second presenter will be Zheng from NTNU Department of Athletic Performance. Presentation from
Good afternoon, Chairman, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zheng. Come from aesthetic department here at NU. My presentation topic is basketball Zheng. Combine the basketball and the Zheng. I was the head coach this university, and lucky for me is I got the three-time championship from 2009 to 11. And so you can see the picture there. It's me, younger me. And you can see our principal, Guo Yishong, on the right side. However, I also really interested in the topic of Zheng, especially after I looked at the famous book written by Phil Jackson. It's called Sacred Hoop, Holy Hoop. So it's very attracted me. And after my experience of basketball and my experience of the Zheng, especially reading a very famous book, so I want to introduce the interest topic basketball Zheng, not only for the skill, not only for looking again, but combine the Eastern philosophy like that. Before this course, this course is open for the graduate student, combine the master and the PhD student, and their background major in sport philosophy, sport history, or sport pedagogy. And their English proficiency, most of them I think is A or D. Very few is C. So not easy. It's a difficult challenge. So consider the background of the student. I hope then read the paper first. The name of the paper is East Meets West, a practical study on yoga basketball training courses. The paper I written. And they had to know some key words. For example, knowing oneself, knowing yourself, or meditation, or social service, or awareness. Before this course, they need read this paper first. And maybe most of the students didn't play basketball. Most of the students didn't have an experience of that. So I have a design. For example, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 different levels for the basketball experience. From never play to the limited experience, or maybe you had the experience of class team, department team, school team, amateur team, or maybe you are professional. Okay, so you need to refer yourself. What kind of level of your basketball experience? The second one is the level for Zheng. I focus on meditation because meditation is a very important part for the Zheng experience. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different levels for meditation experience, from never practice to the limit idea, or some experience, or have attended meditation retreat like the Zheng Qi, or even he is a very in Buddhism. So from the low to the high. And combine these two levels, I hope students can reflect yourself and check your own level. You need to select one for yourself. For example, you can choose the experience, or you can choose the beginner experience or the master. This is combine the two. After this, I hope the student can go to the group discussion. And I designed 1 minute meditation practice. If I say stop, you can try, just relax your body, sitting on the chair, focus on your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Try to relax. Try to feel your thought. After the 1 minute practice or 3 minutes practice, then different group can start the discussion. Discussion what? There are 3 topics. What happened during the meditation? Which level do you think you belong to? Or why does the dynamic nature of basketball require the stillness of meditation? I hope for these 3 topics can be discussed by the student. And after that, how do I know the student understanding of the basketball, their understanding of the Zheng? So we need some assessment to evaluate your basketball skill level, or try to describe your 1 minute or 3 minute meditation experience, and try to summarize and assess your level, which level in basketball level. And finally, we try to combine the different level check and the reflection notes. So I can use this material to assessment. Okay, and go to the last part. Because this course happened in Chinese, but not happen in Taiwan, maybe in the future. So after the course, which reflection and feedback, right? Are the students' English proficiency assessment accuracy? Or are the group discussion members advocate appropriately? They are in the right position, or can the design or the tier evaluation scale be more precise? So something like this, if we do the feedback or we do the reflection, then we can refresh, right? We can do better in the next course. Okay, my presentation is ending here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Is there any questions to Professor Zheng? You can ask in Chinese.
Or you can give some feedback or.
I think this topic is very interesting, so I listen all my research views of different.
Okay. And I have a few questions. Now, Professor mentioned there are some students who have a basketball experience.
Yes.
Why do they take this class?
This course really now is open for our school college, for the graduate student choose. So include the master and the PhD student. Maybe they have some good sports, but maybe they don't play basketball.
Okay.
So the one background of the student.
So in this class, they need to play basketball, or they don't have to?
Usually this is attending course in the classical environment. If I feel I'm good energy, maybe one course can go to the outside for graduation. Usually inside.
Only in the classroom.
Not for this is for the academic course, not for the skill course.
Understood. But they do meditate in the classroom, meditation, then the B5.
Maybe zero. So this is why I try to design this different label to understand the background of the student. Maybe zero, yeah. But maybe some is work experience of that. Maybe.
Okay. Also, well, I think because I never taken this course, I'm not 100% sure how Lao-Tzu operates this course. But the question is, usually if the course is taught in Chinese and then try to teach in English, there is a little difficulty understanding certain kind of common ground. They're supposed to know this in Chinese, but then it become English. They become all of a sudden unfamiliar. So I wonder how Lao-Tzu is thinking to overcome this kind of difficulty in terms of, because usually I have taught the class, the design class, we do the same assignment for students in Chinese and also EMI students in English. And I find that my students perform less than Chinese students, and the students that do the same assignment in Chinese. Because as far as they having difficulty understanding the terms and idea, concept behind of the assignment. And second, to be able to communicate with students and teachers, they have difficulty expressing their ideas. And third, I guess students become a little bit more conservative of participating in the class because, once again, the communication difficulties. So I feel if that's the case, this course maybe need to have a little bit easier or clearer sort of goal of, okay, basketball and then what do they run it? Every week, what do they do? And then maybe when the student enrolled in my course, they are more engaging to the activities and say, hey, let's go play basketball. And let's do that.
Thank you for your very good suggestion. I think this is very important. Before this course, so maybe I have a rule for students to come to choose this course. I mean, the English ability maybe I need to achieve, not for everyone. Maybe for B level or C specified. This is the one thing. The second thing is like you say, how about every week you have a note to practice meditation, practice basketball, then the whole semester that we can see different. This is a very good way. Thank you.
I think I follow with about that because exam actually is the Eastern art. So I think it's really hard to teach the student. But for the exercise field, I think our college process is also and the college. So the postgraduate students, because they like exercise, so they want to do some study. So I think they can transfer from the other exercise event skills to the next. I think maybe.
I see. Understood.
I don't know because it's in our mind.
It was a very interesting course. I never saw about basketball and then maybe we should.
Sorry, actually I have a video.
Oh.
It's only 10-minute video for my basketball team. All the tall guys, they practice yoga and meditation. I did that job for 2 years. So I have a video, but not the time limitation, so I cannot. But I put on the program.
Okay. I will.
Yeah, maybe you can see if you have time.
Okay.
If we have additional time at the end, maybe we can.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Any other feedback or comment? Otherwise, you should do tennis and yoga. Tennis. 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 Oh, I need that. Already need that. Thank you so much. Okay, wonderful. Let's go to the next presenter, Liang Yupei from National Zheng University Department of Computer Science and Information Engineering.
For the introduction from the chair, I am an assistant professor in the National University and I am at the Computer Science and Information Engineering. And I hope today's topic will not be so boring for you guys because you are not in this field. And let me introduce some background of my students. This course is called Introduction to Digital System. So that is the course for students to get some fundamental concepts of how to design a digital system. And this course is for first year or second year student in computer science. And in my class, every year there may be 120 students in my class. So there are so many people, so many students in my class, so I cannot interact with them one by one, but I group them together and help them to encourage them to help each other in a group. And also I have an teaching assistant to help them to understand the content of the course. And also this course is a required course, so they have no choice, they have to take this course. So some of the students are not have well motivation. They don't think this is important for them because this course is more related to electronic engineering students, not for computer science students. So most of them they don't know why they have to learn something about hardware, so they don't have enough motivation. So I try to use some event, and I will introduce later to encourage them to monitor the learning progress for their group members. Okay, so I hope them at least they have to understand the fundamental concept of this course. Okay, and in today's demo, I just chose a very little topic of this course. And the topic today is using for variable kernels map. And that is a tool to simplify the building function, which is the, how can I say that? That is the mathematical function. And then if we can reduce the variable of that function, then we can reduce the cost when it implements to the hardware. So that is, this topic is very important in this course. So because we always want to reduce the cost of the hardware, right? So let's see. And because last semester I firstly conducted this course in English. So every lesson I will recap. I will give them a recap for the previous sessions. For example, this is the actual slide I used in the class, and I will briefly summarize the content in the previous sessions. For example, I will give a brief explanation of what is truth table and what is internal, and also what is K-map. And K-map is the abbreviation of the kernels map in the title slide. Okay, so I just summarize the step of how to using K-map like this one. I use very basic sentences to help them to understand the context, because I think English is just a tool for us to communicate, so that we don't use any academic word, we just use the very basic words different from the textbook, and so that they can understand the content and they can understand the step. So I use the very informal word like circle here, and also I use some informal word like no, there's not any informal word. And also I will show some table from the previous session, and I will use this table to help them to review what is midterm, what is the definition of midterm. And midterm is like this one, and some variables connect each other and with the AND operation. And then the truth table is that we can draw a table and to find out all the input combination with the output of the function, and that's the truth table. And then I will show some example like this one. This one is the Boolean expression, or we can call it Boolean function. And also that is the truth table of this Boolean expression. So we have all the combination combinations of the variables from 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 to 1, 1. And the output of the function will be 1, 1, 0, 0 accordingly. And then I will show the K-map of the two variable K-map what we have learned in the previous session. And this is the proof that why we can use this tool to reduce the variable. So that I will also show a brief proof in these slides to recap their memory. Okay. And then for three variable K-map, because in this session we will try to teach them a new concept of how to use for variable K-map, and then I just describe how to use in two variable, and then I will show an example that how to use K-map in three variable condition. So that is a step of how to using K-map to reduce the variable in by using three variable K-map. And just as I demonstrate that I usually use the animation effect and show the steps step by step to help them to understand. So even though my English is not very good, or the students' English is not really good, they can just follow the animation effects. So for example, for the first one, we draw squares, so that is the squares. So because we have three variables, so we have to draw 2 to the power of 3 squares, so that is x squares. So we have to draw some x squares like this one. And also we have to mark them, define the axis and y-axis, so that we define the column and the row is as the variable x, and the column will be y and z, and so that each variable can be represented by 0 and 1, which is the normal form or the complement form. And so, and the most important thing the student have to pay attention is that the adjacent squares should be different in only 1 bit, so that 0, 1 and 1, 1 only differ in 1 bit, and also 1, 1 and 1, 0 only differ in 1 bit. Okay, and then the step 2 is mark once. So this is the midterm expression. So that is we call it form as sum of midterm. So that we just mark the midterm designation 0, 1, 6, 7 on the squares in the squares, and then we mark the circles. Okay, so that I show the example step by step and with this hint, so that they can review the step and how to use this tool in three variable K-map. Okay, so the result would be sy over s prime y prime, and the original expression would be like this one. So obviously, this one is the reduced one. So once we can reduce this function to this function, then we can reduce the cost of hardware. Okay, so that is the mathematical proof that is correct. Okay, so then I will go move on to the main topic of today's topic for variable CAMAP. So that firstly, I will just show the structure of the format of a variable CAMAP, because we have 4 variables, so we have to draw 2 to the power of 4 squares, so that we form the squares like this one. And so we have 16 midterms. Okay, so and the thing that I have really carefully pay attention is that any adjacent square only different in 1 bit, so that we can form this one. So the row and column are represented by 2 variables. So this time the row represents Wx and the column represents Yz. And the midterm designation would be the binary value of the variable represents. For example, 0, 0, 0, 0, and this square would be represented at 0, which is midterm 0. Okay, and also this, let's show another example, 1, 0, 1, 0, and that is the binary value of 10. Okay, 1, 0, 1, 0. When we transfer the binary to decimal. Okay, and the one thing have to pay attention that is the group could be formed horizontally or vertically, like this one or this one, and or they can wrapping around the row. So we can consider the first column and the last column as the adjacent square, because this one is represents 1, 0, and this one represents 0, 0, so that they also differ in only 1 bit. So they are adjacent to each other. So we can we can make a circle like this one. Usually I use the pen on the slide to explain the content to let them understand. Okay, so we can do this. Also for the vertical, we can do this one. So the first row and the last row would be considered as adjacent to each other. Okay, so and then I will show some examples, and these examples remind the key concepts of this new concept in this section. So in this example, I also show the step by step by the innovation effect, so that they can understand totally, even though they cannot understand English, but they can watch that innovation effect so that they can understand the content. So the result will be like this one. And then I will show another example different from the previous one. And this example, I want to emphasize that. Okay, this example, I want to emphasize that the orange one can be grouped by the fourth columns, because this one adjacent to this one, and this row adjacent to this row, so that they can group together, and it will be represented as a beacon. Okay, and then I will make them to go randomly in pairs to practice the contents in today's class. And for example, I will give them a practice exercise, and then I will distribute the paper sheet for them, and they can write down the answer on the paper sheet. And no matter what they write, this is only the proof of their attendance. Okay, so they can write the wrong answer. Is no, I think it's just a practice, but it shows the effort that come to the class and they try to write something on the sheet. And And then I will show the answer of the group practice. And in the end of the class, I will make a summary of this class. And another thing I want to highlight of my class is that I just mentioned that I have formed an event to encourage them to monitor the student in the groups. So I formed a 90 minutes event after every chapter. Okay, and this 90 minutes I will divide it into 30 minutes, 30 minutes, and 30 minutes. And each group will receive an exam paper, and each paper will only have 2 or 3 questions on the paper corresponding to the number of members. So if the group has 2 members, they will receive 2 papers, and each paper has different questions. So in the first 30 minutes, they have to write exam paper without discussion. So they have to have some content in their mind, and after that, we have 60 minutes to this discussion. But in the first minutes of the discussion period, they cannot open the book or reference any notes. They just can discuss with their group members. And finally, the last minutes, they can use for reference notes or textbooks and mobile device or not allowed, so that they can try to find out the answer on the textbook. So that they have to think by their mind. So they have to review the content after the class, and because the groups share the scores, so that will monitor the group members' learning progress. Right? So they want their group member well, and so that they can achieve the higher score. And then, if they cannot understand the content, the group member can help each other in the discussion period, so that they can learn more in this event. Okay, so that is my demo. Okay, so let's finish my today's talk.
Is there any questions about Professor Yang?
So there's so many technical content. I'm sorry.
Okay. I have a few questions. You also said there's about 120 students.
Yeah.
And this is required initial cut.
Yeah, that is a requirement.
Why do you need to offer it EMI?
Because of the school policy or department policy, we have to contact EMI because it requires a course.
Oh, yeah. And you also mentioned the engagement of students is not so good because of.
I think most of them are level B, but some of them are level A, I think.
Oh, so Professor Yang saying English proficiency is the program of engaging students in the sports, or?
No, most of them are Taiwanese students.
Oh, but they also said this topic is more towards electrical engineering.
It's most related to electric.
Oh.
But in Taiwan, most of the department, most of the university, most of the computer science also teach this course, because some of the students want to design a digital system in the future, so it will also be our required course. But most of students think it is not important. When I was a college student, I also think it's not my future job. It's not related to my future job, so I don't have much effort in this course.
So So don't you think it's difficult to actually do it for EMI?
Yeah.
It's burden the student not only the content, but also the knowledge.
But I think because the content in engineering, they can read the textbook by themselves and how can I say that there are many materials online, so they can learn by themselves. But in my class, I hope the student can follow the slides to understand the content, no matter that how they understand the content.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Is there any other question?
Yeah, I would like to reflect on what you just said. You mentioned that the student could learn by themselves at home for the language part and go to the class, use the details in English. So what's the difference when they come to the classroom to learn in English? Different from they study at home to mention Chinese.
I think in most engineering subjects is no difference. I think the most important thing is that if they can understand the content of this course, no matter what language they use, that is the goal of this course. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe some students just learn the content in Mandarin, but they have to know the English chapter of this course so that they can answer it or they can explain themselves in this class.
Then feedback and summary. You tell us Professor Yang's challenging course for this 4 variables K-mappings. I find it's really challenging to do in EMI, especially usually when you open EMI, at least need to find the topic the students are relatively interested or engaged, so that they try to overcome the language difficulty.
And it will be more challenging if they don't have motivation to take this course.
So I heard from previous session, Central University, she was teaching artificial intelligence engineering topic, right? And she clearly said, oh, you know, if you know this, you make more money. You finally get a job.
For some students, but most of students think this one is not for computer science students.
Okay.
It's more ROE student.
So I thought maybe in the beginning of the course or semester, you can motivate students that this is the basic knowledge. If you don't know it, you will be.
That's funny.
It's a kind of, you know, make yourself stupid. And I teach you the best. Why don't you focus on my craft? I made an animation for you, something like that. Maybe.
I think I should motivate them in some.
Because in the end, for example, my class, some students are coming to take my EMI courses because I don't offer any other, our department only offer my course. I happen to be EMI. So for a lot of students, they are not necessarily going to do EMI. And they must have a frustration. So for example, when I see my student totally talking in Chinese, I said, hey, this is an EMI course, why don't you try to say English, right? And they said, no, I didn't want to do it in EMI, but that's the only course.
Because they have no choice.
Yes, So when I hear, I find it's a little bit not good signal from the student. They have a frustration already. So I try to calm them by saying, oh, you can say half in Chinese, but half in English. Like some sort of simplified understanding. Like why if you take this course, you have a benefit or advantage. Which I totally think your course offers, like nicer animation, step-by-step understanding.
Yeah, and I allow them to use Mandarin in this group practice. Yeah, so that they can make sure they understand the content by discussing with the parent.
But I also find it also struggle for instructors, especially if the department decided, oh, why don't you offer media by? Why?
Yeah. And generally, we have 2 classes for each required course, but for this course, no other professor wants to teach this course, so that they have no choice. They can only choose this course.
I see. So I think once again, in order for successful EMI, first students need to understand what's the clear goal and what's the clear learning out of this. So usually the introduction portion needs to be clearly said, you have it with my beautiful animations that you have to keep your eye open because I very quickly with animations. And then in the end of the session, you need to summary. The summary is nice, but still feels like I need to follow up the summary rather than it's a summary of your effort. So like summary and introduction may be better in your own language, meaning like more sentences. Like today what we learn is what and what kind of method we use, and then what you take away is this sort of table method, graphical analysis of this equation. I'm not 100% sure that's okay. But something like that, maybe at next class we're going to apply this for variable into this. Right? I think it's very nice, but somehow our goal is also to motivate students to come to this course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for your suggestion.
Okay, let's move on. Let me introduce. Thank you so much. The next presenter will be Zheng from NDNU Department of Athletic Performance.
It seems like we are going back to us. It will be not more easy to understand a topic, okay? And thanks, Moderator introduction. And yeah, actually, I think at first I have to, I want to thank for the RCM let me have the opportunity to teach my first EMI class here, okay? So I just want to share something I thought maybe will be happen in the class which I taught in Chinese and Mandarin, okay? So this session, I think, this lesson is, I assume now this is the first class in the semester. It's about the course name is Physical Fitness and Exercise Prescription. And this lesson's topic is about exercise, fitness, and health. And I want to talk about the student background. This class I assume will be taught in my department. And maybe you know that all our students in the bachelor program are student athletes, so they should familiar with the sport training for athletes, but they will not know how to prescribe the exercise program for the general population or for the individual with chronic diseases. Okay, and then also because they are familiar with sports, so I think they will know some specialized vocabulary in the exercise prescription. But I think they will not know the exact meanings of the terms, maybe. And so in this class, at the first, because I said it's the first class of this course, so I want to do some. I need to do more explain the definition about the terminology. Okay, and as I know, I think most of our students in our department, their English proficiency or level might be between A1 to B1. So just so in this class, I think I will learn the teaching strategy I will use is to separate students into small group, maybe 3 or 5 students in each group. Okay, and I will ask them, one of them to be a leader. Actually this teaching strategy is about the Q&A. I will give them a question and then do a group discussion. Okay, and then they choose one leader to report their discussion results or conclusion or opinion for their group. Okay, and but as I say, their English level is not very good, so I will allow them to use smartphone to do some Google search or translate software by their cell phone. Okay, and I also will allow them, if you want to discuss the question in your group, you can use in Mandarin or English. That's okay. But I will ask the leader to report their opinion in English. At least I think that because we have 6 weeks and 1 semester, so I think maybe the first 4 to 6 weeks I will ask them I will allow them to discuss in Mandarin, but after 6 weeks I will try to then they need to challenge your English. Okay, so in this session I would like to talk about exercise fitness and health. So as I say, the terminology is very important for the first class. So in this lesson I will talk about what's the health, what's the exercise, what's the connection between the exercise and health. So maybe you know that exercise is good for your health, right? So the benefit of exercise may be included for your heart, your lung, or muscle systems, or maybe they can improve your aerobic capacity, your endurance performance, or maybe muscular strength, something like that. Okay, and then I will also talk about what's exercise and how to do the exercise. And this is the main purpose of this class, because its name is exercise prescription. That means we need to prescribe the exercise program for the general population. Okay, so I will introduce some exercise guideline and the FIT principle, and also have some lifestyle intervention. And the next part I want to share some part I assume that I can teach in the class. Okay. At first, we need to define what is exercise. So I will use this question for the students that they separate to maybe the small groups. Okay, and then we will discuss that. What's the difference between these 3 terms, including the physical activity, exercise, and sports? Especially the last 2 terms, I think the people usually confuse with these 2 terms. Okay. So anyone have some feedback about this term? No. You have been my student, right? Okay. I think we can quick to move on. Okay. After that discuss, I will give them answer. Okay, from a study just like this one. what's a physical activity? That means you do voluntary body movement produced by your muscles and increase your energy expenditure, okay? And it should be, it may be not planned like exercise. You can see that exercise is structured and organized, competitive, but that purpose is for health. But the difference from the exercise and sports is purpose. As you can see that the characteristic of sports is very similar with exercise. But the purpose of the sports is to win the game, win the competition, win the championship. So it's totally different. In our class, I always talk to my students that actually the second place is just like the last one. We need a champion. Only champion is meaningful for our student in my department, okay? So it's totally different as sports. But exercise you can lose and you can, but just for fun, for your health. And then the next term is about the fitness. The fitness, Merriam-Webster side, the dictionary say that the definition is a party or state to be fit. But I think this definition is not very good because you use a fit to describe fitness. It's very weird for me. So in our field, research field about exercise prescription, we will define fitness is the ability to carry out daily tasks without undue fatigue. Just like you can walk to a local shop or walk to your office or work in your office or walk your dog, okay? Or walk after your dinner. Just like that, you can do that, but you will not feel any fatigue. Or maybe it's a little bit fatigue, but you can recover it quickly. Okay? And then in the exercise prescription field, we will define that physical fitness has two categories. It's about, one is about health-related fitness, another one is sports-related fitness. Okay? The component of the health-related fitness, you can see, including the cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength and endurance, flexibility, and body composition. And then for the sports-related fitness, as you can see that we have reaction time, power, speed, agility, balance, coordination. I think it's a basic physical fitness elements the students need to know. Because for each component, we have training methods or stretch to do for improve the 5 minutes, okay? Oh, okay. Then I will have another question, just like I said, for each part I will have question to the student, just like this. We need a sports-related fitness to improve your health. It's just like, because as you can see the definition of sports is for winning the game, but the components of the fitness and sports-related fitness is very weird, but I think the answer is yes, because it's like you say you want to play tennis or basketball. Do we need the power, agility, coordination? Yeah, I think that answer is yes. Okay? Just like let the students know that actually if you want to improve your health, you need to improve the 11 elements of the physical fitness. And the next one, I think, would be the key point or key component of the lessons. It's important how to do the exercise. Then I will show the FITD principle, and I will have the question for the students that you know how to do the exercise. If you want to prescribe the exercise program for the people, for the public people, so how? Then they will separate to the groups and discuss this question. Then give me the feedback. What things you need to do? What things you need to consider about it? So I will introduce the FITD principle. principle. It's including the frequency, how often you do, maybe how many times per week you have to do the exercise for your health, and how hard you need to do for your exercise, and the time duration, and also the time. And the most important thing is another one. I want to the students know the very basic. I think that's the basic issue because you need to know that just like you do exercise a day, it doesn't mean that you will get health tomorrow. So it should be regular, in regular basis. So this is important. Even you have an FITD principle. And also I will show some study or the exercise guideline from the famous organizations such as the American College of Sports Medicine. They have some suggestion about how to do the exercise following the FITD principle. For example, is you need to do at least 150 minutes per week. And also you should combine with at least 2 times per week about the resistance exercise for your major group, muscle group. And the last part is about the exercise intervention. Actually, for the exercise intervention, we have 2 categories. One is structural exercise intervention, another one is lifestyle intervention. I think this is a very useful way for improving the health for the general population, especially for the weak or unfit individual. So you may change your daily life from inactive to active style, okay? Just I will show this, that's evolution of our human being. From the ant, and we need to hunt, we need to walk to survive, right? So right now, we survive in front of the computer, right? So that's the evolution led us from active style to inactive. So that's a problem. That's a very important issue for the health, for the exercise prescription. So let the students know that. So how to do that? And then I show some example here. Just like you can change something. Just like this, you can use a switch ball. We call it the green one is switch ball or resistance ball to change the general things. Or maybe if your company is rich, you can offer every employee 1 treadmill. Okay. Actually, this company is from Japan. Yeah. And I will show this one just like maybe Professor Liang said because of the school's policy. Because I don't think it's also the policy problem. But I think the policy keeps us moving on, right? So this news from the Sweden, in their company, they have a deal. If you do not do exercise, you could be fined. I think that's a good policy. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we can use the policy. Maybe. Okay, that's all. That's what I want to share with you all. Thank you.
Any questions?
I would like to ask, I appreciate that you demonstrate the key concepts such as exercise, sport, physical activity, and grouping students so that they could discuss, and then you show some answers. I would like to ask, when they do a small group discussion, they use any Chinese or English to discuss during that small group discussion.
Yes. That's my point. That's my point. Especially in the first 4 to 6 weeks, because as I say, the students in our department, most of them, the English level is not very good, so I will allow them to do that. You can discuss the question in Mandarin or in English. That depends on you. But the leader, if you the leader have to report the final opinion for your group, right? So you need to talk in English. Even just only some vocabulary, that's okay. It's not in complete sentence, that's okay because we teach is just like a daily life English, right? Not specialized in language. Yeah.
Do you have a plan to rotate the leader, or leader stays the same?
Yeah, I think rotate is good. Yeah. Okay. Because I think that if because I need to give them the score right at the final semester, so yeah, rotate is good, and I will count the times, how many times you to be leader for your group. Yeah. Just one by one, then that's one point. And also I think I will use the middle test and the final test for that.
Is there any other question?
So it's how do you lead it from this way?
I have another question about the difference between exercise and sports.
Yeah.
When you are teaching this topic in Chinese,
yeah,
it's also different.
Yeah, it's those are different.
Oh.
Can I speak Chinese?
Okay.
Yeah, actually in English we say exercise, sports, you can totally understand different word, right? So, but in Chinese, sometimes we'll say 运动, translate 运动, actually it's different. But in recent year in Taiwan, we changed the name, the Chinese name, Mandarin name for the exercise and the sports. The exercise means the 运动, that's okay. But the sports is 竞技运动. It's more competing.
Yeah, sounds more professional.
Yeah.
竞技运动 yeah.
Okay.
Combine the competition. Yeah.
Oh, so the suggestions, the feedback, I think the course is well actually structured, and I think by understanding students' English level, I think to offer them able to discuss in Chinese in the beginning and gradually shift to discussing English. I think it's a very challenging, but I think that probably for students, they actually learn a lot better. So that they don't, in the beginning, they're not shy to talk. Because in the class, if the students are not active and proactive, then that's a bigger problem of EMI. The other thing I was kind of interested was, especially initially offered in Chinese and translate into English EMI course. I think that for instructor side it's a little bit challenging because we don't want to make the content too simple.
Yeah.
But then to find exact term, exercise and sports, while the sports and you don't. Something you don't. It's kind of become challenging for instructor sides not to minimize the contents, but to offer still deeper knowledge beyond just typical conversational English. Yeah. So in this case, I do find that the sports how to construct the course, and therefore I feel that the planning is very well planned. So hopefully the student improve their English when they after taking this course and B2.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. The last presenter. The last presenter is Zheng from National Zheng University Department of Mechanical Engineering. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Okay. Yes. You see.
Okay, yeah. You hear me? Yeah. So I'm belong to the Department of Mechanical Engineering, so it's also a college of engineering. So I didn't prepare a slide because in my course I don't prepare slides for students. I use the textbooks. So I have the electronic version of the textbook. Okay, so, and usually in the first class, I will show the syllabus. So the course name is Intermediate Fluid Dynamics. So this can be either for graduate level or undergraduate level. So you need to have basic knowledge of fluid mechanics. So this textbook, so you can buy a hard copy of this textbook, or you can find a Chinese translation of this textbook. So for my course, this is a very fundamental course. Fluid mechanics is a very fundamental course, very old course. So, however, it's the foundation of every basic knowledge science of the fluid in our field. So doing the textbook, a good textbook is very important for students to learn the topics. And also, focus on this line. Here it says that 请尊重智慧财产权，不得非法影印教师指定之教科书籍。Respect the copyright. So I contact the publisher. They suggest me that don't give the content to the student they have a copy. So this is why I choose to use the electronic version of the textbooks. And also, this is the first class I will do this one. Second one is I will mention this thing. Okay, this is policy for you to ask for leave for every course. So I found this one in our website, in our school, and what it says is this one. Okay, here. If you miss 1/3 of course or whole semester, your final exam will be 0. 0. This is school policy. So I will ask students, you have to come to course. If you do not attend the course, if you miss 1/3 of the course, you will go 0 in your final exams. So, however, nowadays students, they don't want to come to course. They think I can count on Google, count on ChatGPT, I can count on Wikipedia or YouTube, whatever. They think that 5 minutes resource on the internet, they can find better things than you. They don't want to read the textbook. So what I did is I do this. Every week, I have a quiz, 100%. So if you don't come, you don't have the score. And I took this one. Usually, if you come, you will get scores. So I use this as attendance. Take attendance by taking the quiz. So they come to course every week, and then I will ask questions, very simple questions that I covered in my last course. Then they can. And then my quiz, my exams are all open book. Open book. So it forces them to use the textbook. So they don't think that I buy a very expensive book, but I don't know how to use it. However, it is open book, so you can not use it and come and open, and you can get the 100 scores very kind of not difficult, a little bit easier than you thought. Okay, so then. Actually, the goal when I designed this course, my goal is teaching students how to read the textbook, how to use the textbook. Because nowadays, Taiwanese students, they are very lazy. They don't want to think. They rely on, please, you give them the slides. You give them all the exam questions. And they think, okay, I can just prepare 3 days before the exam. I read the slides. I read all exams and I can pass it. No, I don't give you the slides. I don't give you all the exams. I allow you to open book. So please, with the textbook, you learn by yourself. And I teach you how to read the textbook. So I will do this one. So, left-hand side is the contents of the textbook. So here you can see fluid mechanics, statics, can translate this into Chinese. Fluid mechanics 流体力学 ，dynamics 流体动力学 ，and then fluid statics 流体静力学 ，fluid kinematics 流体运动力学。They are similar, sounds the same thing. What's the difference in 流体力学、静力学、运动力学、动力学 ？Just like sports, 运动 it's the same. So what's the difference? Don't listen to me. Let's see what the textbook says. Okay, so we go to say this is chapter 3, fluid kinematics. Okay, we go this one. Students, come, read with me. In this chapter, we will discuss every aspect of fluid motion without being concerned with the forces. Okay, that is, we will consider the kinematics of the motion. Kinematics means velocity and acceleration, and the description and visualization of the motion. However, we didn't cover the force here, force. So, did you see that? Kinematics means motion, and the dynamics means forces necessary to produce the motion. Can you see the difference? From the definition, you know kinematics is only about the motion, and the dynamics is related to the force. So, textbook is very important. Then definition, have theory. Not that I didn't yeah, just count on the textbook. Don't listen to me. Listen to the textbook. And then I say, every week we have the quiz, right? So now I will try to demo how I teach. Okay, so today the topic I will cover is fluid dynamics, the Bernoulli equation. This is a very famous principle in the fluid mechanics. So this is about the fluid dynamics. So I will come and tell the students, okay. Remember last week we have the quiz on chapter 3. Chapter 3 is fluid kinematics. So what we cover in the quiz is this one. Is the acceleration and the material derivative. So the material derivative of velocity is the acceleration. So this is the kinematics of velocity and then acceleration with the relationship between the material derivative. So today we will cover the chapter 4. Chapter 4 is dynamics and the famous Bernoulli equation. So what will be covered today? See here, learning objectives. So students, after completing this chapter, you should be able to discuss the difference between the Eulerian and Lagrangian chapter 3. Sorry. So yeah, I will flip the textbooks very frequently. So students, after completing this chapter, chapter 4, you should be able to discuss the application of the Newton's second law of the fluid flow, and then explain the development, uses, and limitations of the Bernoulli equation. So this will be on the quiz. Next week, this will be on the quiz. So remember, you need to know this because this will be on the quiz. Development, uses, and limitations of the Bernoulli equation. Third one, use the Bernoulli equation to solve flow problems. Then apply this concept of static, stagnation, dynamic, and the total pressures. So 4 types of pressures: static, stagnation, dynamic, and the total pressures. And the last, calculate various flow properties using the energy and the hydraulic grade lines. Okay, so these will be on the exam and also on the quiz. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so you just catch a keyword is Newton's second law. Newton's second law. What is Newton's second law? Here, Newton's second law means F equals to ma. What is a? A is the acceleration. So in chapter 3, we mentioned the acceleration. With the material derivative of the velocity, you can get this one. So now we know dynamics talk about the force. So we want to know what is the force. Okay, what is the force? So we continue. And here is the key word. The Bernoulli equation may be the most used and abused equation in the fluid mechanics. So after reading this part, you will understand what it means here. So I will continue. So chapter 4.1, Newton's second law. Yeah, and then I will go through the text sentence and then pointing out keywords like to derive the Bernoulli equation and apply this Newton's second law, we need some assumptions. For example, the frictionless flow, we say a flow which is frictionless, we call it inviscid flow. Inviscid means frictionless. Frictionless means inviscid. So this will be on the quiz. Because it's a bold letter, which means it's important keyword, right? So whenever you encounter the bold letter in the text, you say, oh, this will be on the quiz. So focus on this one. And then next one is, what is the force? So force, after go through this part, you will see force is related to gravity and also the pressure. So if you, well, theoretically, students need to have the textbook on hand and then come to the course and then follow with me to read through this one. So, well, I think that is how I go through the textbook and then the equation formulas. So I pointed out the key point, the physics inside, and I want to let them know that assumption mentioned in the textbook to tell them how to go through the textbook and read the textbook. And then I will emphasize that what will be on the quiz and also exam, so they know that how to prepare and what is the key points to focus on. And maybe they will come and go out, and I will say, okay, oh, I also prepare one thing is this one. Here is the Bernoulli equation. You Google from Wikipedia. So if you want to know more information about the content I covered today, I will say you can Google it. You can go to Wikipedia, YouTube, ChatGPT. You can find more information that you can find on the textbook. So my goal, my philosophy is to want to let students to read the textbook by themselves, but now depends on slides or all that I provide for them. Yeah. So any question? Yeah.
Any questions?
I like the fact that you allow students to read.
Yes.
And I think it's very important because nowadays students are lazy and attention. But is there any sort of engagement within the classes, like students and the teacher or staff?
Good question. Yeah, I forgot to mention this. Every day I will have the lottery. So I will say, well, you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I use the website, you can just pick out a number. So, okay, so what is Newton's second law? We just finished F equals to ma. So we check, okay, first one is number 3. So, okay, number 3. So do you remember what I said? What is Newton's second law? Here, Newton's second law. And then because computer assigned a number, not me. So I won't feel embarrassed. Yeah, number 3, please come. Here's the answer. Okay, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so due to the time, I go straight to the suggestions. Thank you for Professor Zheng. I think the way how you teach the student how to read textbooks, I think it's one of very basic skill but very important. Right? So that portion I already do think the course has a big meaning to it. But at the same time, I wonder how you can engage the students with this many texts. during the class. Because I heard the trend of communication is going toward more visual rather than text and vocabularies. So nowadays a lot of kids, especially students, they're more accustomed to see the graphic, to understand things rather than read the paragraphs to, for example, get the same amount of data. So that I find it quite challenging, especially if the student's English proficiency is not as good as teacher. Because it's either you lead towards what they try to follow, maybe there's a big difference. But the information you need to cover for your schedule, maybe that's kind of burden the student in terms of reading. Unless you tell students to come after reading the chapter that you teach. I think that kind of sort of flipping the classroom may work in this strategy, I think.
Yes.
And otherwise, I think the quiz is nice. Yes, to open the quiz every class, the student gains 20% of the score. That probably gives certain idea why they need that in the classroom. Only concern is you said it's an open book exam for midterm final. What happens if they bring the pad and say, oh, I have an ebook in my iPad?
No, it's not allowed. I will say that you cannot do it because maybe you can Google or find out.
Yes.
So I only allow the hard copy textbook.
Oh,
yeah.
So everyone needs to purchase the book.
Oh, okay. I also allow that you can prepare one A4 cheating sheet for both sides.
Oh.
So if you really think you are very good, you don't need a textbook, it's fine. Oh. You can summarize your own formulas or key theory, even the old text, or exam question. It's also okay. Only one A4 page on both sides.
So we cannot bring electric book into the. Then solve my question.
I'm very old-fashioned.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think it's a very challenging topic. One other question. I wonder why you start with intermediate rather than beginners.
Okay, because this is fluid mechanics, so it's given in undergraduate level and also on graduate level. But you need to distinguish the name of the course.
Okay.
So for undergraduate level, we call it fluid mechanics. For graduate level, we just put an intermediate fluid mechanics. However, nowadays, for graduate students coming to our school, sometimes they don't have the background in the fluid mechanics. Maybe they just pass the exam then come to us. So they're similar to undergraduate level.
Okay.
So actually, I cover the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. Thank you so much.
Let's take a group photo together.
拍照。
可以直接那个把
好，帮我把灯开启，帮我把回光机关掉一下。那我们稍微把旁边的椅子稍微往旁边移一下。
我们等一下还有特别讲座，有些人要在前面的，老师们不好意思。
再两排好不好？
两排啊，侧身可以吧？
对，侧身也可以。
好。
对吧？对。
点名哦。
然后数到3的时候挥手。
哦，对。
3才可以吗？
对，3、1、2、3，挥手。好，再次哦。1、2、3，挥手。
老师，你要进来呀！进
好，对，帮助写进来。增加人气。自己没写在会上。好啊，等一下我们合照。好。那我们等一下一样，大合照往排两动作，来正常的站跟你的站，再来就是今天下午有上来分享的，怎么样带跟旁边两个海报一起做单独的合照这样子。OK， 好，来我们稍微再往你们的左边移一小步。OK， 好，来，帅哥，我们可以站一排吗？我站一下，对，没事 ，OK， 对，可以。好，来，我们先来看镜头喽。来，保持，来，刷三笑容给我，来，1、2、3，再看，1、2、3。好，来，我们现在一起比个赞好吗？一起比个赞，来，一样露出你们灿烂的笑容。今天午餐有没有吃饱？有，大家比较压力的啊！来，每个笑容给我，来，1、2、3，再看，1、2、3。好，我检查一下，稍等一下。对，我看一下你们眼睛有没有都有睁开。对，因为有时候会刚好闭眼哦，等我一下。OK， 谢谢各位。那我们今天可以来拍一下单独合照了，单独的个人照。那我们按照刚刚演讲的顺序来拍。OK， 好，那我们可以先拍第一位。希望好，来，这算是我